see that LeBlanc and Jana have been taken away. Lissandra just loses out to the Xerath. Unless you can get ahead and really hard engage on Xerath, he can just poke you, can farm quite safely and turn into a late game beast. Nah, also being taken off the board.
Could have maybe swapped those lands as well, but I guess we'll think about that as we move into this game now. Snake versus Gamtee, they'll swap sides for our second game of the best of two. Now, as you mentioned, the ban there, LeBlanc the first for Snake, and Jana, a good adaptation there by GT for their first ban.
Yeah, so Gamtee now need to decide what they want to take away. Will it be the Fizz? They didn't ban it last time and it wasn't picked up. Or will it be something completely different?
And looks like one more coming through here for Snake. Might have had a ban penalized here. I think Gamtee might have missed one. Potentially have some problems in the client for players as well, but we'll see what happens here to give them a bit more time.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the last point we need to talk about for Snake, as we see it was actually a Thresh and Lissandra bans coming through.
And Rek'Sai as well.
And Rek'Sai being taken away. Jarvan being picked up by Snake. We saw that wasn't actually a fantastic pickup last game. More probably because of how well Beast played that Nunu, as opposed to Danger's Jarvan just wasn't able to get going. Did have a good first gank. But the map control that came out of Snake was so key in that victory. I feel if you can deny a team that much map control and with the vision and then strangle races like that, no matter what team you pick, you will win.
Yeah, and looks like Gamtee are thinking about taking away that Sivir as well. Jana was, I think, a big element of how that comp played out in Game 1. I think Sivir's a big part of just LPL in general after the few games we've seen today. So wouldn't be surprised if it does go in. Lee Sin's going to be their jungler as well.
Yeah, and if we talk about pick ban strategies for a little bit, if you take Sivir, it doesn't give much away from your team comp. And if you're confident running into it against the other popular AD carries at the moment, think the Corki and think the Ezreal because of the Spell Shield and the Trinity Force build, then it's quite a good early pick, whereas sometimes AD carries can't be picked that way. Corki's probably the only good early pick that you can pick up. I like the Lee Sin coming through, much more individually strong. Will be able to skirmish this Jarvan, and Rumble being picked up for Flandre.
Yeah, these are big picks from Snake actually as they lock in 2 and 3 quite quickly. Rumble for the top lane, presumably maybe Flandre will play that one, and Nami the picks here, so very different comp from Game 1 already.
Yeah, and maybe looking at the Kassadin for that counter pick in the top lane. Zilean being picked up, so another movement speed support coming through. Kassadin does very well against Rumble in the top lane, so that's a good pick up there. I like Let Me on that.
Does change it out though, so we'll see what Gamtee are going to end up locking in here, but they are going to go for Kassadin, and that is Alistar to swap things up now.
That certainly is. We said we hadn't seen very many aggressive supports coming through. That's the first one. Alistar, of course, loves diving into the lineups. That headbutt pulverize combo can be so deadly.
Yeah, and this is more of what we're used to seeing, I think, from Chinese supports. Much more aggression, big on the engage tools. And Sivir Alistar is not a combo I really thought of, but boy is it good when you want big engage.
I'm so sad that Tristana just got put there. It was a Draven Azir for a second, and that would have been the most line-heavy damage with the soldiers coming out of Azir on top of the Equalizer and Rumble and the Cataclysm. Draven would have been able to do work in that composition.
But
Triss does the same thing, able to move around the fight a little bit better and gets to that hyper carry status so well.
And Azir as well, our first Azir of the day here, has been banned a couple of times already in today's games, and very excited to see what Baki can bring on that champion. Azir is just a champion that if you're good at him, just has an unbelievable skill ceiling.
Yeah, and he does a lot of things really well. Can set up engages with that E being able to knock people up. His ultimate is one of the most game-changing, but hard to position skills. If you get it perfect, it just wins you team fights. But I like Leo locking in this Fizz, able to jump over that ultimate wall, be able to get in his face, make life hell for him.
So Gamtee going for double AP again, interestingly enough. Quite a different comp here. Kassadin's going to go back into the top lane this time. No, that was the same as last time, but you mentioned that you like the matchup there against Rumble. Why is that?
Because Rumble puts out this consistent magic damage. He doesn't really have some burst to get through your shield. So what you do is you walk up, you take the first couple of ticks, and then you use your Null Sphere, trade very, very well with your W and your E, and then you can just hop out whenever you want. You have much more mobility, and you can beat Rumble around the map. So Rumble looking for these big team fights, Kassadin looking for the extended people, chase them down, and just does much better in the lane than he would against someone like an Aurelia.
Yeah, I like the combo there with Fizz as well. Lissandra is a good engage mage as well, but Fizz maybe a bit more aggressive and probably nice in this matchup as well. Azir, pretty passive, pretty zoning sort of mid laner that we see. So Fizz can maybe get in his face and pick up some early kills, especially with some good Lee Sin pressure early on. I also like the positive interaction between Rumble and Kassadin's Force Pulse, his E. So there's a lot of good stuff going in here. I think Gamtee have drafted quite well once again.
Yeah, I think that they've got some tools this time around, Gamtee, to win this game. Snake's definitely got a good team fight composition coming through, but I just think that Gamtee can definitely brawl, get in there, and they have some better early game tools.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens here. Snake are up 1-0 here in this best of 2 as they started off with a bang in their LPL debut. Gamtee as well behind will try and even it up and pick up at least a point here from today's battle up against this team. But Snake coming up strong with everyone playing well. Flandre in particular really showing off in that game 1, but he's on a different champion now. In fact, Snake, Spawn have a very different team comp to game 1.
Yeah, they definitely do. They have that more Wombo team fight comp with a Tristana coming through, hopefully to clean things up at the end of the team fight. But Gamtee looking a little bit more early game focused. They've got a Sivir against the Tristana, so you feel they have to really crush that lane with some Lee Sin help. Otherwise, the Trist may get out of hand here. But I like the mid lane matchup a lot more this time on the side of Gamtee. They have the... Ooh.
Very sneaky here. They're going to find Tail. We'll get aggressive there. Ebb and Flow comes through his zone. Just a bit of poke coming in. Tail's going to take a lot of damage here. No wards are going to get put down. The blue does put one in the intersection between the Grump, though. So we'll get vision of that area.
Yeah, Tail starting the Ebb and Flow there over the bubble. Looks like they were setting up for a little bit of a level 1 strat there. First we've seen, I guess, so far. And maybe you could have got a Summoner spell there if he had have had that bubble instead of the Ebb and Flow.
Yep, playing it a bit safe though, and they pretty much guaranteed themselves that they get a nice deep ward. And we actually saw that in the last game as well. Snake warded right near the Krugs to get early vision.
Yeah, so if I explain that a little bit more, I guess, because I kind of left it. Because Alistair can only go all in at level 2, I think the bubble would have been a fine start there. Ebb and Flow is normally used if you are going to get poked out of the lane and you need the early sustain at level 1. But at level 1, if Alistair walks at you and you're an army, you just slap him in the head.
Yep, here it looks like Krugs getting started for Lee Sin on the GT side. Snake will go with Gromp into blue, it looks like. As Bucket does put down that first soldier, just trying to zone out Leo's Fizz early on.
Yeah, and just trying to get level 2 first. It's so important as a mage to get level 2 before Fizz. Otherwise, he can jump on top of you, get that W going, and his auto attacks do so much work early.
Yeah, and that's one of the things a lot of mages, because they're spell-based, are quite weak to autos in the early game, so do not want to get harassed up by Fizz. Ella and Crystal also started their Krugs, it looks like, here. So get a bit of an edge here, but will miss a couple creeps.
Yeah, are being pushed in nice and early as well, so good move there from Alistair. Doesn't want to take too much harass. Make them focus on the creeps and get this lane pushing.
Yep, it's going to go good. Bubble just wide there of Tail as Ella and Crystal do hit level 2 quite early. Going to go in there. Crystal gets aggressive. Right onto Sivir. Exhaust down already. Goes into the bush. Good ward down. The heels popped as well. Dream can't even knock him away. Just has the heal. Crystal still going. Bubble just misses though, and Snake have to give it up.
Yeah, they do take a turret shot there as well, so trade evened up a little bit, but that is so much work done. Both summoner spells down on the Adine, the Ignite down on Alistair, and only for the exhaust. That's what we're speaking about. Alistair level 1 just does not do as much as Nami.
And that's the second time Snake have taken a jungle.
Oh, they're going in.
Oh, Crystal going in. The bubble does hit it to Tail, and first blood goes to Crystal's Trist.
Yeah, opting not to use the jump for a reset. Maybe didn't have enough mana for it there for the slow, but wow, Tristana winning an early game is an absolute nightmare for Gamtee.
Yep, and again, gave all the experience to Crystal at level 2 so he could bully with Sivir in game 1. Share it this time for the level 2 all in, and boy, did that pay off.
Yeah, and that's the weakness of Alistair. You cannot go aggro early game. They pushed a little bit too hard, and they were made to pay.
Yeah, Alistair all about that skirmishing and team fighting sort of action. I like that Gamtee can kind of shore up the front line here by having Ali as a good one-man tank and Lee Sin's semi-tanky, but that bottom lane went from, we'll see what happens to, oh my god, this is awful.
Yeah, and that just puts even more pressure on Danger to get down there and make an impact in this early game. Triss now, up in CS, up in experience, and a kill is just going to... Yeah, she's not going to have the dip that you would normally suspect out of a Tristana.
And it's been a while since we've seen Triss get aggressive, but she is, that almost famous caster AD in the early levels. And man, did Snake make that work as we see the mid lane now. Bucker, CSing nice here against Fizz, just using his range advantage in the early levels.
Yeah, looks like Beast is going top lane for this Kassadin. Once again, looking to, before level 6, impact the lane, because after that you can't really do much against a Kassadin.
Yeah, wants to give Flandre power as well here on his champion, Rumble this time around. And Beast being very patient here. The flash is up here, so they're going to have to blow it first. Dream actually has also roamed down, but looks like top lane they have started off. Letme's quite low actually. Needs to be careful. They will dive in there. Flandre can't get the kill, but Beast will secure it there. Dream around the side does go in, but can't convert that. And a great gank again by Beast.
Yeah, once again, they've burnt the flash before level 6, so they get a repeat gank if they would like it. The wave will possibly reverse. I think it was a little bit too far out of the turret. I didn't see it there. And wow, Leo taking a lot of damage in the mid lane.
Nice knock up there by Bucker, just getting a few extra auto attacks from his Sand soldiers as well. So nice to see aggression early on. Danger will find Ella though. Flandre a bit low, but down towards the Dragon. Because we have issues though. Yeah, Ella's getting 2v1 right now. Good bubble. Hoping going to keep him safe. Dream's trying to walk around for the headbutt, but has to be careful. Leo has walked in here as well. There's the playful Trickster. Going to look to come in for the Urchin Strike. And Nami's got nowhere to run. Damage still coming in. Headbutt might have saved him though. And now the tower does come in. Danger will ward hop in. A great double level. Ella still taking back and forth. Still alive somehow. Fist comes back in. The heel goes down. Flandre down in here as well with the teleport. And Leo is looking to go down here. Flandre going to try and get a trade and hits him in the back of the head.
And that is why you never give up on going out as we see the fight continuing.
Yeah, Beast going in, smites onto Danger, who's forced to flash out there, but here comes Crystal going in on the Triss. They're trying to get the damage in. There's Bucker for the first kill. Tail goes down as well. There's the reset now as Dream looks to just go down here. Good equalizer there for Flandre. Hits level 6 and Dream is dead.
What an absolute nightmare coming out on Gamtee. That was huge. Crystal going full man mode, putting his big boy pants on and getting in the middle of the action, slowing everyone down.
And
That's
Ella,
a good team fight.
What a play from Ella. Did everything he could to stay alive and baited for so long.
Yeah, and I was going to touch on that before the rest of the craziness happened. Never give up your life for less than what it's worth. They burned so many summoner spells and just had to stick around for a little bit too long. Trusted his team to be able to clean up for him, and they came up absolutely huge.
Crystal has gone such a greedy build. This Dragon so early as well here for Snake. They're going to finish this one off pretty easily, it seems like. Didn't even need their jungler. Dangerous here, so gets bubbled up mid-Q almost and is forced to ward hop away. Almost going to go down. Triss needs a beast, smites him, and he goes.
Yeah, and had to use a pink ward to ward hop as well. That's even worse. That's 100 gold that did absolutely nothing on the map. Wow, Snake just, once again, even earlier this time, have complete control.
And Crystal's Avarice Blade, he's getting ahead already, but he went the greedy path to try and snowball even further. And this Trist is massive already.
Yeah, and wow, everyone is actually huge on the top side of the map as well. We see the gold right now, 2.8 thousand gold, I guess, on the top lane and mid, and Fizz just falling behind this Azir, who we've talked about having such a strong late game. That's going to be accelerated so much at 2-0-1.
Yeah, there's 3,000 gold ahead right now for Snake as Ella's just running defense up towards the top. And most of that gold, that 1,000 gold, is distributed between the 3 carries here on Snake as well. So they couldn't ask for better gold distribution.
Yeah, and we're seeing the differences between Jarvans as the ultimate was burnt. Flandre still roaming down.
I mean, Flandre's roam actually is something we didn't quite touch on in Game 1, but he's looked impressive as Ella's going to trade again. Crystal is making this bottom lane so scared.
Yeah, and Crystal able to pick up a CS lead as well. Wow.
Just going in there, Flandre ults down. Danger actually smites him. Beast hasn't quite gotten the kill. Azir's though rotating in. He wants it for himself. Obaka will clean it up, but towards the top now. Flandre going in. He's just fighting Letme, who's got nowhere to go. Flamespitter's moving back and forth. Overheated, just punching him in the back of the face. And Flandre doesn't quite get him with the Q, and Letme will survive.
Yeah, missed one last auto attack that might have put him in kill range from that Flamespitter as Beast going in for the dive.
Yeah, he's going to go for the dunk. He does find Cataclysm and gets an easy dive. They can't real fork out of that one.
All right, a lot of craziness going on the map, so let's take stock of exactly what it means. With the Sork Boots being picked up on a 2-0-4 Rumble, means he will have those double penetration items by about 14 minutes, which is extremely early. Jarvan as well, 3-0-4. Last game we saw probably how far behind a Jarvan can possibly get. This game, we're seeing how far ahead a Jarvan can get. And as he gets those levels, his base damage is so high, he's going to be doing work.
Baka, by the way, has just casually picked up 3-0-1 for his Skullland early on. Morellonomcon's already finished for Azir, and he's got quite a lot to spend, I imagine, as well. In the bottom lane, though, have to question the pick there from Tail, because he's basically conceding this lane with the Avarice Blade.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's gone back. He's 0-2-0. I think he had it after his first death, actually, just trying to get as much gold as possible, try and get his way back into the game. We see it with mid laners often, where they just go, all right, I'm behind. I'm going to pick up a Majias and try and get some stacks. However, when the game just goes opposite and just accelerates so quickly on the other team, all of a sudden you're left with a completely useless item.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tail's got a lot of gold to pick up here. Down the bottom, seems like Danger was actually scouting out, but Beast has rotated, and he is on top of a ward, unfortunately for him, so that gank will likely go all right. They could look to dive. They've already seen a lot of that from Snake.
Yeah, they've done a better job on this time on Gamtee to set up wards around the bottom lane, keep themselves a little bit more safe. However, at this point in the game, they can just be dove. I guess it's very scary to dive an Alistair, especially when he hits level 6, can just CC you for such a long time. It peels so well for his AD carry, but they're in real danger of this game getting even further out of hand.
Flandre, I think, might have considered a dive there as he's going to bully Let Me out with the Flame Spooner, and his very early power spike here has finished up his Haunting guys. Plus the Sork Shoe's done. Bucker actually going in onto Leo, but taking a lot of damage here. The Fish did hit, and Azir's in a bit of trouble. Exhaust did go down, and Ella's joining him as well. Second Exhaust will join through. Now Danger is going to come in. Also, Let Me, though, gets his kill there as he sneaks through with the Riftwalk. Flandre with the ult has teleported down as well. Will fight in there. Let Me taking so much damage, but does Riftwalk out of the way. Got the kill on the Fizz, and that's a 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, a little bit short on the Ultraman out of there from Flandre. Otherwise, that could have been much worse. He thought that they were going to run a little bit further down river, so he didn't place it up quite enough as Crystal just walks past stream.
Yeah, doesn't quite fancy himself in the 1v2. Beast steals away the blue buff there as well. So Let Me, or I guess Leo in this case, will be denied. Flandre has found his top laner in the mid lane. Just wants to hunt him down as much as he can.
Yeah,
and now pushing in mid as well.
Once again, Beast just right there for his top laner, willing to lend a hand whenever he could. They're pushing out this lane for Trist as Dream just headbutts him out of the way. But that's a big wave that could even be frozen here. No, I think there's much too many creeps. They're going to take so much damage.
Crystal has so much gold to spend as well. It's just sat on like 2,500 gold or so for quite a while, just letting that Avarice Blade tick away. I assume in this game that he wants to go for Infinity Edge, just because he's already got enough of an edge that he can probably afford to skip that mid-game, but not too sure. Yeah,
if he goes for Infinity Edge, it will definitely give him a much earlier, I guess, power spike. Depending on how many points he's put into a Q, you can generally tell how quickly Tristana will swap her build from Static Shift to Infinity Edge from when she stops putting points in her E, sometimes around 3 or 4, but you can do it earlier if you're ahead, into that Q to get that attack speed up nice and high.
Yep, Flandre as well has, I think, about 1,000 gold or more now at this point to keep going on.
Did pick up the Static Shiv instead of the IA as a first item. Did go a pickaxe as well, though, for a little bit of extra damage, as well as those boots. So does stick to the build of trying to get as much early game power to mitigate that dip, I guess, as possible.
Yeah, very smooth curve here for that Tristana, which is just going to be fantastic with the next dragon coming up as well. Looks like Azir's chugging along nicely, kind of bullying Leo a little bit, who hasn't quite finished that Lichbane yet either.
3 members coming up to the top lane here for Gamtee. If they're going to turn this game, I think they need to do it now.
Flandre and Beast going to try for this. It's a 2v3 right now. The ult does go down the tower slow. Beast is trying to finish it. He does ult, then flashes out. Maybe going to be okay. Jukes the Q from Lee Sin and walks away.
Beast is playing out of his mind. That was a huge play. Able to juke that Q. Definitely saved his life there and walked away scot-free. Wow, more action in the bottom
Tails
lane.
in trouble. There's the jump past the wave there. Tails used that spell shield, so does get knocked up. Crystal will chase in here on Triss. He's going so aggressive under this tower. Does get the kill. And Snake, man, they love to dive.
Yeah, well, as soon as they saw 3 members top, they could just go free will into that bottom lane. Unfortunately, forcing Tail off his turret, able to pick it up. Perfect timing for Dragon as well, so they'll pick up their second one of the game as well as mid. This is just, wow.
Such a clever dive as well.
It's 7,000 gold at 13 minutes with 2 dragons.
Snake have just looked on point this game. Second dragon's going to come in very swiftly. This is usually about our first dragon time, but there's 2 for Snake just so easily here. And everything about what's happening is just great. Snake are playing so well as a team. Individual play from the top half of the map's looking strong as well. And Gamtee have just not found an answer so far.
Yeah, and Flandre once again picking up those early home guard boots. So that does look like a pattern out of him. We saw it last game when he got ahead. Has done it again this time. And wow.
Poor Tail just getting bullied here by Crystal. Now here's Bucker and Flandre around the side. And Flandre picks up that kill on Sivir.
Yeah, that's just so unfortunate. He's like, why me, guys? 4 people in his lane. He just wants to go there, pick up some CS. That's the second turret going to go down. And from this point, Gamtee can't do anything.
No, they are locked out of a lot of options here at this particular point in the game. Massive gold discrepancies here. You see there's 1,500 gold on Azir and Trist as well. And Crystal's continuing to push with just the Static Shift pickaxe. Doesn't even have a quick IE, which he's going to have very shortly in this particular game. Gamtee have to total up quite a bit, I feel, if they're going to get anywhere in this game, because it's just such a massive gold deficit.
Yeah, and Let Me, if he rip walks here, is in even more trouble.
Good smite there from Beast as well. Flandre follows in, and Let Me's like, I don't have anywhere to go. A great ward, though, down as well. He will maybe try and get out, but they're going to keep going in. Beast and Ella had gone in there as well, and Beast does pick up yet another kill. He's 505 on this job.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ella not able to pick up a assists there as we see a little bit of a roam coming out of Dream, who's just been beaten around the map at this point, but he is going in.
Yeah, Rumble actually gets the turret there on top as well, but there's too many members of Snake now in the mid as Leo and Dream will want to back off Bucker going in onto the Alistar. Good bubble there from Nami. The ult does just miss time there, unfortunately, and Dream is going to try and flash. He does headbutt away, get himself over. Danger going in, but a good ult there from Bucker gets them back. Now Beast is going to go in. Crystal jumping over. Great scrying ult. Gets the first kill. Here's the resets. There's two. It's Azir gets the next. Now Crystal with the ult doesn't quite pick up. Danger Ward hops away, but again, Snake, so aggressive.
Yeah, tried to jump and flash at the same time to get the slow down. Unfortunately not able to do it, and then couldn't get him into the wall with that ultimate, but it will mean a mid-turret and a couple more kills going down. And that was probably the best engage Gamtee could hope for. They just don't have enough burst to get through the people, and the cleanup crew and Tristana coming through.
Yeah, just not enough anything almost for Gamtee right now. Just need gold and are struggling to get it with Snake being so aggressive in this game. I mean, Crystal is still pushing now on Tristana. We actually, between games, learned that Snake are apparently excellent when it comes to wave management, and I think it shows in just how well they're playing the map.
Yeah, it certainly does. They're just rotating around so well. That was one auto attack. It did about a third of the health of Tails, so able to go back, spend up all that huge gold they have. You would think that would have to nearly be Infinity Edge time for Crystal.
Yeah, he's probably ready to go here at this particular point. And if it wasn't hard enough already, it's about to get a whole lot harder here for Gamtee as this Trist has just gone massive. There's Bucker's Rabadons so quickly in this game here as well. We're at 16.5 minutes spawn, and there are just items across the board.
Yeah, and we see that in the top lane that Abyssal Scepter's also been picked up by Flandre. Once again, having a standout game, being matched by his team a lot more this time around. You'd have to say it's definitely coming a lot from Beast in the jungle getting these things started, but that Abyssal just going to be able to augment so much more magic damage coming out, and that is Crystal's Infinity Edge.
Yep, there's Crystal's IE, and Pinkward as well. Snake wanting to continue wiping out the vision of Gamtee and pushing their vision further forward. Again, Snake's warding is very solid. There's a big, deep Pinkward all the way in the back, and they've got good wards scattered around the map as well. Leo and Dream trying to pick up the CS that they can, but Gamtee, they have to hunker down for quite a while.
Yeah, until this game gets just 6 items, the deficit's just going to be so large.
And Snake, they show they can be pretty decisive in closing out games in Game 1. I imagine we'll see a pretty a repeat performance here, sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately for Gamtee, the last thing that's not in their favor as we see, wow.
Flandre is just going in. Let me Rift walks away. We'll keep him safe for now. It's all right. He can get away this time.
Yeah, he's okay. They don't have great wave clear either. They've got Sivir. If you're pushing, Fizz's wave clear is very, very good offensively, but not great defensively because you put yourself in harm with your only escape ability. So yeah, they just can't stop this siege. Tristana's range now getting up nice and high and just going to be able to siege these turrets down.
I think that's somewhat true of Sivir as well because her auto attack range is so short that it's just much safer when you're on offense rather than defense.
Yeah, definitely agree. They're a team that is much better going forward than backward.
Yeah, and Flandre here does get kicked. I mean, we can say that about a lot of team comps, but this one in particular from Gamtee is very much about momentum here, and Snake does not let them get anything so far, continuing to farm out the map and just clear vision out.
Yeah, and unfortunately it was just one mistake. We said how they have to go much more aggressive early, try and turn the game in their favor, and they did that. They thought they'd caught Ella out in the forest, and just that was what turned the whole game around. It had gone horrible for bot lane, so bot lane was probably a lost cause, but the top side of the map was completely that one play.
Yeah, the great escape from Ella really just projected Snake into quite an enviable position as they are just so far ahead. That's well and truly 10,000 gold and more in the lead, and that's under 19 minutes in this game. We used to talk about 10,000 gold as being a big lead. On this patch in particular, it's just exponentially bigger as Leo wants to fight Crystal, but the rest of his team's here. Crystal getting a little, has to be careful. Great up from Azir to keep him safe, and Crystal's going to pick up the kill as well.
Yeah, Leo got a good pick, thought he had it, but once again, the item deficit just a little bit too much and didn't have enough AP to burst him down. That's going to be the third dragon at only 19 minutes into the game, and yeah, what can we say? Snake really running away with this one.
And we always look at leads as being like, you know what, if you're ahead, you usually have more options than your opponent. It's one of the biggest indicators of where you are in this game. Gamtee have so few options left that it's a good illustration of just how behind they are. I mean, Snake, if they want, can just walk to this Baron when it spawns and probably take it fairly comfortably.
Yeah, and the denial of vision is important. They're doing a good job of jumping in and out of vision. so they don't know where they are. So if they do get to the point where Baron is appropriate, they can definitely go for that one. That was a teleport coming through from Flandre with the home guard boots on.
I have to say, Flandre is very liberal with that teleport. If he thinks he can make an impact, or he feels like he doesn't need it right then, I guess, which is this teleport, he just does it. He wants to pressure, he wants to find kills and be there for his team. And he'll just kind of nonchalantly port to whatever he feels like he wants to.
Yeah, and the other thing is when your team can win a 4v5 and you think that you can get a pick with the teleport, why not use it? Why not try and get in there, make something happen? The earlier you close out games, the better, because as those respawn timers get longer and longer, we've seen some crazy things happen on this patch.
And a nice item pickup here for Barker as well, supplementing 2 big AP items already with a Stinger, actually. And they go in there instead. Curious to know, I mean, Nationals Tooth, I assume, is coming out here?
Yeah, of course, for the on-hit damage that comes through from the soldiers. As Ella picks up a kill.
Yeah, just managed to get the kill, I think, with the help of Flandre, who does use his Rumble ult now as well.
That's going to be the first inhibitor of the game. There is no way they can stop this. They're just way too powerful.
Yeah, I mean, Azir's pretty good at structures as well. He just throws the W onto that tower. This inhib is well and truly dead here as Snake look to take an even bigger lead in this particular game. 21 minutes in and the first inhibitor will fall down. There's, again, Sido's pushing it. I think maybe now we have to talk about this from Snake, because both of these games they've played so controlled and the side wave management has been impeccable, Spawn.
Yeah, it definitely has. And you mentioned it, that the fact that they split push very, very well, so they understand how waves work. And if you just put implied pressure on the map as well, let me nearly getting collapsed on from the support and AD. If you put pressure on with waves, it's like you have a 6th and 7th member, because you know at some point you're going to have to go deal with it. Otherwise, it's all that free gold crashing up against the turret. And in worst case scenario, they take objectives themselves.
Yep, so a bit of a reset here for Snake as they go back to spend a lot of their gold that they've accrued in the last couple minutes. Gamtee trying to find a way back into this game, but they know they're just going to have to chill. Let Me in trouble. He's going to get killed by Tristana. Actually died to, I think, explosive shot. Possibly the ultimate there as well, but Cassidy, even he can't stand at this point. He's just got nothing going on.
Yeah, and he had the best lane on the map. If you look at 1v1 lanes, Cassidy versus Rumble, you would think that would be the lane that won, but unfortunately Flandre able to get around, impact the map with his ultimate in that first fight and pick up way too much of a lead, and that's another turret falling. All of the outers down, inhibitor down in the mid lane. You would think that has to be Baron time.
And I have to say, so much credit to Beast for getting Flandre ahead.
Yeah, he's been my
now.
MVP for this season. He's controlled all of the map impeccably.
For the whole season after two games. I mean, he's played that well. I maybe disagree slightly. He's definitely MVP of this series. I'll put that out there. Don't give me that look. And Barker now just continuing to push down as well. Over a wall, but he'll just pretty happily recall. Even if all 5 members here walked over from Gamtee and tried to kill Barker, he'd probably get a kill or 2 in the process.
Yeah, you feel he definitely would. There are a little bit of power spike coming out on the side of Gamtee now. That Infinity Edge has been finished up, but when you look over at the equal on the other side, there's an Infinity Edge, a Static Shift, and a Last Whisper.
And an Elixir there as well for Crystal, who's just pumping out the damage on this Trist. Not even like a massively high level, which would make Trist even better in this situation. Just a strong level 12 here at 23 minutes. Flandre again, hogging all the experience at level 14 for himself.
The one thing I will question out of Crystal is why the Last Whisper. Like, they don't have enough gold at the moment to pick up any armor. He could have gone BT, would have been much better objective control. So Snake playing pretty flawlessly around the map, but you can see that their item choices do maybe leave a bit to desire for. They are starting up Baron.
Yeah, this is a 2-man Baron, by the way. Beast and Barker have been in. Now Crystal joins in the party. Ella will also come in saying, all right, if we have to, I guess we have to. And this is completely uncontested. It doesn't happen often, but a free Baron for Snake. And they have earned it this game.
They just can't leave their base. The empowered recall's coming through. You would think this would be the last push.
I mean, miracle defenses would have to pretty much come back to back to back here for Gamtee to stay in this game. And Snake, who have looked very decisive, not just when they're ahead, but when they're closing out the game as well. But again, for what was an amateur team only months ago, this team looks like a roster that's been playing for years, not the months that they've been together.
Yeah, I think the only way they win this team fight is if, like, Danger kicks someone into a fountain through 5 people, and then Alistair gets to headbutt another one into the fountain. I think even then they still lose with 3 members left. So this is going pretty badly for Gamtee. They're just the game. League of Legends is one of those games that if you set up a game plan and you don't execute properly, the game can get out of control really fast. And that's all that's happened. They made one misplay, and from there it just gone downhill.
I mean, yeah, this game is just so far ahead for Snake here. But I mean, if we have to look back, what is it that made this such a dominating series? Because Snake just looks so in control the whole time.
Yeah, it's their ability to use vision to get a lead further ahead. So yeah, they got their lead both games. They did it in very different ways. First game by picking on top lane, and then using the Nudu to bully out Danger from Beast. This game by just a very, very good survive from Ella and the team collapse. But once they did that, they just impeccably control vision, and they understand exactly how far they can push their advantage.
Oh, tail. Sorry, my friend. Oh my god, he just goes in. Oh, that was Flandre actually going down. He didn't kill Tail, but he tried.
Yeah, so all that was Flandre. He thought he had a 1v1 kill. The team collapsed, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to keep going because the longer it takes you to kill me, that's a second inhibitor.
I mean, you know, Flandre's happy to trade his life there. The trade's fine, but funny to note that the whole team needs to be there to get a kill there under Flandre. They are going to go in, but it's a 4v5 now. Beast back in the there, but he's fine. The tidal wave going to come in as well. Lemmy and Leo trying to find a way in, but there's nothing they can do here. Crystal gets one kill. They're going to try and lock up Tail for the next as well. Danger will go in. There's the double coming in. Can they make it the triple? As Crystal will chase in for the first pentakill of the LPL, but there's the triple. Going to go in looking for the quadra. Crystal tanking fountain laser shots left, right, and center. But that is all she wrote for this one, it seems like. Gamtee probably tapped the mat here at this point. Nothing left in that one. And what